This is WILT week 40, and as we all know, the typical pregnancy lasts 40 weeks, but that's not the only thing that these two share in common. See, WILT weeks and pregnancy both start out as great ideas, but then after a long, painful process that involves a lot of crying, you're left with a product that leaves you asking, why did I do this? Today is Monday, November 5th, and today I learned something that we all already know, but we never talk about it. We never think about it. To set up for what I'm about to say, I think I need to tell you what I've been doing for the past couple days. There are certain days where I stumble across a certain interview of some famous person, and I get really intrigued with who they are, and then I go on this binge session of just watching every interview ever of them, any interview that they've been part of. And last week, my person that I was kind of obsessed with was Post Malone. I watched a bunch of interviews with him, and this week, it's Billie Eilish. If you're not familiar with Billie Eilish, she's a singer and she's 16 years old and she's a phenomenal singer. She's amazing. But Billie is also very, very sad. She's a depressed person and there's absolutely nothing wrong with being depressed. It's not to be looked down on. And because Billie is depressed, she kind of thinks about things in a different way. Her self-image is very different than a person that's not as depressed as her. And I was watching one of those videos that Genius does where singers explain their songs, and she was explaining her song, I Don't Want to Be You Anymore. That's one of her songs. That's the title of it. And as she was explaining her lyrics, she came across a line and her explanation kind of stuck with me. Now, I don't exactly remember the line that she was explaining, but her explanation was that you are always you forever. And that just sent me into a nice spiraling existential crisis. We all know that. We all know that who we are is who we are forever. That's the truth. I'll use me as an example. This is who I will always be until, I pass away. What happens after that, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. If it's anything like Kung Fu Panda, it's gonna be pretty dope though. But this person that you're looking at right now, Gauruv, Virk, me, right here, this physical me, is who I will always be. Of course, humans change. Change is inevitable and it's necessary, and while I don't always like it, I understand why it exists. So humans will naturally change, but I think, fundamentally or whatever, the core of who you are will always remain the same. And once again, we know that. We know that who we are is who we will be forever. And it wasn't until 16-year-old blue-haired Billie said it out loud that I really thought about it. Now, I don't really have a point to why I'm telling you this. This is just something I learned today, but it's not really something I learned. It's something I put more in my conscious mind. I don't know if it's a good thing that it's in my conscious mind, but it's definitely interesting to think about, and I don't know. It's just so interesting. And after watching numerous interviews with Billie, I like her so much more. She's amazing. Her music's dope. It's awesome. But who she is as a person is also phenomenal. So today I learned, or rather was reminded, that I am me forever. And so are you. You're you forever. I'm sorry if this turned into some weird thing. I know it did, but it's what I learned today. It's where my mind was at today, and I just wanted to share that. This is a weird one. In conclusion, Billie Eilish is dope, and I'm a big fan. Today is Tuesday, November 6th, and today I learned that sometimes lying is a good idea. Okay, so let me set up the story. Let me cross my leg on my other leg, because that's how wise people tell stories. I was leaving my math discussion, and I saw this girl and this guy talking, and they were obviously flirting. I know it's not right to assume just because a girl and a guy are talking that they're flirting, but that's what I'm doing. It's better for my story, so we're just gonna say that's what was happening. And I wasn't eavesdropping on their conversation, but I was unlocking my bike 2 feet away. So I would have had to cover my ears to not listen to what they were talking about. And what they were talking about was pretty intriguing. I gotta tell you what. They were just asking all the, the softball questions oh, where are you from? What's your favorite food? And they eventually got to, what's your favorite music? And that's where the interesting stuff happens. Because I think the guy asked the girl, he was oh, what's your favorite music? And she's oh, I don't really have a certain genre, but I do really like Red Hot Chili Peppers. And his response, that's what sparked this whole learning moment for me. Because when she said, I really like Red Hot Chili Peppers, he immediately, no hesitation, was Red Hot Chili Peppers? No way. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's one of my favorite bands. And I was listening, I was how convenient is that, you know? That that's his favorite band. Now, I don't know anything about this guy, so maybe he does really love Red Hot Chili Peppers. But once again, for the sake of my story, I'm gonna twist it. This is what I was thinking about. What if he doesn't like Red Hot Chili Peppers? What if he's never even heard any of their songs? For the sake of keeping conversation going with this girl, he was just like, oh yeah, I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. What if the next thing she asked was like, oh, seriously, what's your favorite song? And he was just like, hot, hot, hot? Did they write that one? Because they're chili peppers? And then she would have been like, no, I don't remember that one. I don't know if they did that one. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Could be named something else. I don't know, like hot was in the name. Like, how funny would that be if he just didn't know anything about this band, but he was claiming to be like, I love this band. It's my favorite band. Ever. So I put myself in his shoes. Yeah, I literally ran up to him, stole his shoes, and I started wearing them. Makes me sound like a psychopath. No, I didn't steal his shoes off of him. I put myself in his shoes and I thought, what would I do in that situation if I just didn't know anything about the band that this girl liked? And I came to the conclusion that I would probably lie. Like, if I was talking to a girl and she was like, my favorite band is Green Day. I don't know if this is like 2008, but her favorite band is Green Day. If a girl I was interested in was talking to me and she said, oh, I love Green Day, I would probably respond with one of these. Oh, Green Day, yeah. I think I've heard a couple of their songs. They're pretty good, yeah? And that's how I would respond. Even though I've never heard a Green Day song, I think the player in me would probably just be like, oh yeah, totally, I agree. There's absolutely no player in here, by the way. No, I'm not good. Yeah, I'm not good. I'm great, okay? And the reason I would, you know, lie is to keep the conversation going. It's a white lie, you know? It's very innocent. It's not gonna go anywhere until we go to like a roller rink and then Green Day starts playing and she's like, oh my god, it's her favorite song. And I'm like, yeah, what is this? And she's like, it's Green Day. It's our favorite band. And then I'd be lost because I don't listen to Green Day. And this is the story of why it's okay to lie. What a learning moment for everyone here. Today is Wednesday, November 7th, and today I learned about a new sauce at Domino's. Well, new to me. In an earlier WILT, I discovered that the chicken parm was pretty good, so I'm eating it again. But there's one sauce from Domino's that I've never tried, and it's the mango habanero sauce, so I'm going to try it now. I know this is a flavor at B-Dubs, or Buffalo Wild Wings, as it's, you know, normally known. And I'm not really a big fan of it there, so I don't know if I'll like it right now. Look at that. Oh, it's so cheesy. Like my jokes. Whoa, look at that, like orange glaze. That's okay. It's sweet, you know, mango. The spiciness level isn't crazy, it's pretty normal. It's like a decent sauce. If you're into spice, well, there we go. If you're into spice and sweet stuff, then try it out. If you're not into spice, you know, spicy things, wouldn't recommend it. But if you're into that spice, this is pretty nice. And I think that rhyme is making you think twice about watching this video. Oh boy. Today is Thursday, November 8th, and today I learned what a cheetah's tongue looks like. For the past couple days, I've been having this video that just keeps getting recommended to me. It's this one right here. It's like how sharp is a cheetah's tongue or something like that. It's by this guy, how do you say it? Dolf C. Volker? Dolf? It's kind of like Ralph, but it's Dolf. Dolf? We'll go with Dolf. Dolf C. Volker. And he had this video on how sharp are cheetahs' tongues. And it kept getting recommended to me over and over. So I, of course, watched it to get it out of here. You know? Clean house, you know? Do some spring cleaning. It's fall. Late fall. Early winter. Quite literally the opposite of spring. But that's how amazing we are on this channel. We do spring cleaning in the fall. I don't know where that came from. So I watched the entire video, and the way he described getting licked by a cheetah's tongue is, imagine if you had a bunch of very, very small shark teeth, and then you put those shark teeth on sandpaper, and then you rub that against your skin. That's what it would feel like. Absolute hell. So of course, what does this guy do in the video? He gets licked by a cheetah for like 3 to 4 minutes straight, and then of course he starts bleeding, because what wouldn't a YouTube nature video be without someone starting to bleed? And yeah, conclusion, don't don't come in contact with a cheetah's tongue? Did I need to tell you that? I don't... What? Why? What? Did Dolph think that I was, you know, running into cheetahs all the time and I was contemplating getting licked by them and I was, you know, on the fence? So he was here to confirm for me that don't do that? Is that what Mr. Volker? Is that what Mr. Volker wanted? I don't know. But now I do know. Actually, I said I don't know, but I do know. Don't get licked by a cheetah's tongue. You rascal. You. This has been a really interesting WILT week. I feel like I've been talking a lot. It's like more casual. I think this is what I can't even talk. I think this is how I like talk to people in real life. Well, the camera version of me is like kind of close to my real life. I think. It's like the positive of my real life. You don't see the dark, dark secrets. Okay, this is just started at cheetah tongues and now we're at my emotions. There's a lot in between there. So let's just call it for Thursday, okay? I learned what cheetah tongues are like. Boom, Thursday, November 8th. Didn't even look at the calendar to do that. Off the dome. Boom. Today is Friday, November 9th, and today I learned about the Mola Mola fish. The Mola Mola fish is a giant fish that can be anywhere from 500 to 2,000 pounds, and it can be anywhere from 5 to 9 feet, and there was even a record of one being 10 feet long. Here's a picture of the largest one ever recorded. Yeah, there it is. Imagine how much sushi you could make with this thing. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. These things are covered in parasites. That would be suicide. So don't do that. I'll put some stock videos in the video here so you can check it out. This is what it looks like. That giant rock with like 2 fins protruding out of it is the Mola Mola fish. Or I think it's also known as the sunfish because it's like the size of the sun. I don't know if that's why they call it that, probably not. It's not very scientific. But then again, they did name a shrimp a pink Floyd shrimp just because its claw was pink. So, could go either way. And I learned that this Mola Mola fish apparently doesn't have pain receptors. That's what I understood from my research. And so there's actual videos of sharks and whales and orcas and seals, I think, just biting chunks out of this fish, and the fish doesn't do anything. It just keeps swimming and other animals just bite out of it. They take entire bites out of the Mola Mola fish. So imagine a shark just coming up to the Mola Mola fish and is like, you know what? I'm just gonna bite part of your body off. And then it does it, and the Mola Mola fish is just like, you know what, man? That's fine. The way I relate this to myself is it's kind of like when I get my test back. It's like a part of me is being ripped out, and I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. And I feel nothing. I am numb. No feeling whatsoever. So yes, Mola Mola fish, the sunfish. Oh, and fun fact, it kind of looks like the Sharpedo. I think it's Sharpedo from Pokemon. Yeah, it kind of has the same body shape as it. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that was WILT Week 40. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And this week's question is, what did you learn this week? What's a new thing you learned this week? You know, I'm always telling you what I learned this week, but I never ask you what you learned, and it's a two-way street. So let me know, what did you learn this week? And I'll see you next time for WILT Week 41.